Welcome back, students. To continue from where we stopped, before that I'll just quickly take you back to the summary of the story. Like we all know what is happening in the story. This is the elephant who made a friendship with the man in a hut, and he had come to his hut asking for a little space for his trunk. The man, trusting his friend, allowed his trunk to be put inside the hut. So since there was no enough space for both of them, and we all know elephant is quite huge and there is no space, so what happens ultimately, once the elephant put his trunk inside, slowly fling the man outside the hut and occupying the entire hut and saying, now it's my hut. And it also justified saying that the man can afford to stay in the rain because it was raining heavily. Torrential means heavy rain, and saying that the elephant's skin is very delicate, so that man can afford to stand in the rain because man's skin can withstand the rain, whereas elephant's skin very delicate. But in reality, we know this is a satire. In reality, we know whose skin is harder. Of course, elephant's skin is harder than man's, but like we always have been talking this story in the context of colonization and colonialism. So these colonizers, that's how there is a underlying reference of racism here, right? That also we discussed. Then what happened? Man started arguing. Then all the hearing the sound of this argument, all the animals in the jungle came around and asked what is happening. And by the time what happened, the king of the lion also had entered, and he said, how dare you people disturb my piece of my kingdom. Now probably you could always compare the lion as the king of the jungle. It's somebody who's very dominant amongst the colonizer. Could be English has been always been the dominant one, or you could also refer elephant as English or other European countries. Okay, but in the fight, in the argument, what is happening? All the animals only had come around. That means all the Europeans, all the colonizer. Here animal represent colonizer and man represents the tribes, those colonized one, right? So all these animals had come around, and there was nobody from the man side also to ask and for the justice for this man. And he narrated the entire story. Then what the king said, okay, what we will do is I will form a commission of inquiry to deal this matter, right, sort this out. And I also assured, and they use such a polite and very, very sophisticated language that anybody can be deceived with that. The same thing happened to the man. Man also trusted all of them, saying, hearing those such a polite and respectful words, he trusted. Okay, like we said, they formed a commission of inquiry to deal that issue. So what happened? So who's the minister? The minister of his kingdom is the elephant. So he is the one who is supposed to choose the committee members. So since elephant is being one of the guilty in the issue, but he gets to choose the commission members. So that is the irony of the situation. But this ultimately he chose the commission members, and who are the commission members, how they were, what title were they given to him, how they were very well respected, also we discussed. The rhinoceros, alligator, hyena is being the, and who is the chairman? The chairman is Mr. Respected Honorable Fox. So that also we discussed. So these are the animals who get to look into the matter and finally give verdict. So that's the irony, right? We did discuss about that as well. And also buffalo, alligator, fox is the chairman, leopard is a secretary. And also we associate certain qualities with these animals. By looking at these qualities itself, we know what kind of justice we can expect from this. And also these were completely biased, are favorable to elephants, because elephants is the minister of the kingdom, and you know what kind of verdict is going to be out, right? So they started hearing from the elephant, and elephant came and stated his case and telling that it is my sacred duty to do, and any one of you who were in my place would have done the same thing, because I was just protecting his hut from being blown away from the hurricane. Hurricane is a storm. That is how he stated. I did not do anything wrong, and I think we are all wasting time in discussing all this, because this duty any of you also would have done. I have done nothing wrong. As if he speaks, he has done nothing wrong, and now he claims that hut since he protected the hut, and he also lies, we know why he had come and all that, since he protected the house, now he is claiming the authority over his house and that belongs to him. So that is exactly what colonizers did to the colonized one, and they said, we have come to protect you, we have come to teach you civilization, because you people do not know how to use it, how to make use of your land economically, but we would teach you how to do that. That is exactly what they have done. It is the same scenario, it symbolizes the same thing. Like I said, it's an allegory. Allegory is representation of something which is connected to the history or whatever, right? Here in this context, it is a colonization. It represents a colonization. Let's go forward and see what happened. And Mr. Haina, other elder of the jungle, who all supported elephant. Obviously, they would support, because it's been completely, it's one-sided. The whole case is turning out to be one-sided. That is elephant side, right? Then they called who began his account dispute, but the commission cut him short. Okay. After hearing the respected Honorable Mr. Elephant's conclusive evidence, the commission called Mr. Haina. Again, what do we associate Haina with? It's very cunning, very clever, it's master in deceiving people. But look at this is Haina being the elder. Look at this, all the commission members, right? They definitely won't be having a fair justice to the man. Other elders of the jungle, who all supported what Mr. Elephant had said, of course. They then called the man, finally, of course, for the sake of it, maybe, because this is a customary, they would just to give a chance, just for the sake of giving chance, they have to give a man also to state his case, right? Otherwise it will be completely, evidentially it is very one-sided. So they don't want to make it look like that, but it is, they are also like pretending to give a chance to man. That's what they do. But the man who began to give his own account of the dispute, he just begins to narrate what happened about the dispute, but the commission cut him short. They've stopped him. They would not even allow him to begin. They just stopped him. Cut him short means they just stop him. My good man, please confine yourself to relevant issues. He hasn't even begun. But they're telling you, please limit yourself to relevant issue. Whatever you're beginning to say, which doesn't make any sense and which is irrelevant, they're saying. Look at it. The whole dispute is talking about which is very relevant, but they're all saying, no, these are all irrelevant. Talk about what is important. Talk about only relevant issue. We have already heard the circumstances from various unbiased sources. This is all biased sources. They have heard it from one, that is elephant, and that is completely biased, and they all have already agreed with elephant. But they are lying. Various unbiased sources. There is no unbiased service. Everything is biased sources here. All we wish you to tell us whether the undeveloped space in your hut was occupied by anyone else before Mr. Elephant assumed his position. So they only concern. Only it matters to them if that your hut was occupied by some other animal or not. Then we'll take this matter seriously, because it is amongst colonizers. Then we can take it discussively. If nobody else had occupied this space before you, then there is no point in discussion, because obviously it belongs to you, elephant. That is what they are stating. That is why they are calling it irrelevant. Please tell me whether your hut was occupied by someone else before elephant or not. That's all they care about. But still, how does man get justice here? How is it a fair inquiry? Yes, that is what they have done. They only talk about what matters to them, what is important to them. In case if it had been occupied by some other animal, then there would be dispute amongst the colonizer. Then they can discuss and seriously then come into the conclusion, who does the hut belong to? Whether that animal, ultimately the one thing is very sure here, the hut has to belong to colonizer. Hut has to belong to animals. Though animals have, it is not their hut, they have not built it, it is man's hut, it is his own land, his native land, and he's been living here. But finally the verdict is almost given here, saying that this hut already belongs to animals. Now we have to decide which animal it belongs to first. Look at how they've turned the entire circumstances to their favor, right? What they are saying is whether a hut belongs to you or not. Finally what happens, that is what the verdict is given then ultimately. Then because they did not allow man to give any chance, there was no space for him to state his case as well. Then man began to say no, but they again cut him short right there, saying that you have no right to discuss about it because it already belongs to somebody else. Now to continue from here, but at this point the commission declared that they had heard sufficient evidence from both the sides and retired to consider their decision. So they have not heard from any unbiased sources. There were no different sources. There was only one source, but also that was from the elephant. By now they have almost come to conclusion of the verdict, saying that the hut belongs to elephant, and they say they've heard sufficient evidence. It's like they never gave a chance to the man to state his case. Both sides, and retired to consider their decision. So they've retired. Retired means it's like adjourned. In court, judge says, okay, adjourned means small break, then they'll come back. They will go discuss, maybe have a break, and like snacks break or anything like that. Then they will come back. So that is what they say. After enjoying a delicious meal at the expense of the retired Honorable Mr. Elephant, they reached their verdict called the man and declared as follows. So during the break, what is happening? They are going to have a delicious meal, which is again organized by the elephant. Now this also seems like a bribery, where they are having delicious meal, they are taking a break before giving a verdict, but where they are having a delicious meal at the expense of elephant. It is elephant who's organizing. Now can you imagine? It's like a bribery, right? Because you're bribing all your committee members, because the verdict we already know, it has already in the favor of elephant, but still it has been rewarded. They have been rewarded with the delicious meal by the elephant, because elephant can afford to do that. Man is poor, and like he doesn't believe in such unjust or unfair means to satisfy the commission member. So yeah, that's how they've dominated their financial status. Also colonizer dominated over the poor, and they've turned the justice to their side, right? That is what happened. Now they've declared as follows. Now they have come back from the break and they've declared, this is what they're declaring. In our opinion, this dispute has arisen through regrettable misunderstanding due to the backwardness of your ideas. So this is how they are stating. They're stating this whole dispute, this whole confusion has arisen because of backwardness. Look at this word. They keep emphasizing, they keep stressing on this backwardness of these tribes. They are uneducated, you are not intelligent enough, you are not knowledgeable enough, you do not understand the laws, and everything arises from this. That is why this whole misunderstanding, they call it backwardness of your ideas. They always overpowered, they always undermined, looked down upon their ideas on this colonized one. They say you are not educated, you people don't have a knowledge, all that. We consider that Mr. Elephant has fulfilled his sacred duty by protecting your interest. In fact, they are appreciating the elephant, saying that he has fulfilled his sacred duty. What is the sacred duty? Occupying somebody else's house or claiming somebody else's house, authority over somebody else's house. Is that a sacred duty? But that's what elephant is claiming for, right? As it is clearly for your good that the space should be put into most economic use. So by doing this, elephant in fact has helped you, because now this space would be more useful, economically could be used more. That's what they're saying. And as you yourself have not yet reached the stage of expansion which you would enable, you will fill it. We consider it necessary to arrange a compromise to suit both parties. They're now pursuing him to come to the come to the consensus. Consensus means they have to make an agreement where they have to compromise with both parties. You compromise with the elephant because ultimately elephant has helped you by protecting your house. Otherwise it would not be developed economically, but by occupying this space, elephant in fact helping you. So now you compromise with the elephant and give away your hut. That's the verdict is being given by the Commission of Enquiry. Mr. Elephant shall continue his occupation of your hut, but we give you permission to look for a site where you can build another hut more suited to your needs, and we will see that you are well protected. What they're saying is, now the whole land in fact belongs to tribes, but what they're saying is, now we will give you permission, you leave this hut because that belongs to elephant. Now I'll give you permission, go build another hut in some other space, I'll give you space. Who are they to give you space? Now they have come from outside and they're telling, we will give you space. It is man's space, man's land. Who are they to give him space? But this is how they're dominating, they're overpowering, they're claiming the entire land belongs to them. In fact, it belongs to the tribe and mans. But this is the irony of the situation, because they were superior in terms of weapon and the power and the strength, so that's how they've dominated, not just in African tribes, throughout the world. That's what they've done. They came to India for the trade, they slowly started developing a friendship with all the kings, and slowly what happened, they have taken control of the entire country itself. Almost 360 years we have been dominated by the colonizer, and we have been ruled in fact by them, right? That is exactly what happened with the African tribes also. Now for anything I want to do, like as an Indian, we have wanted their permission, right? And they made a laws which is completely favorable to them, and they looted us. They've taken all the resources to their countries, and today they're wealthy and prosperous. It is not because it is their land's resource, it is resources that has been taken away from all the other countries. Right? So we always talk about Kohinoor diamond, right? Which is now in England. So where does it belong to? It's in India. It was in India, but they have taken it away, right? So it's not just Kohinoor diamond, it's so many things, right? And in Africa, the ivories and diamonds, everything they've taken away. And even the land, fertile land, such a fertile land, they have occupied and started monopoly over that as well. So here, ironically, this is what is happening. They're telling the man, you go look for another space, which we will give you permission, and build another hut, and we'll make sure then you will be well protected. When they could not protect from this incident, how would they protect from another hut? Maybe when he starts building, maybe another animal come and occupies that as well, which man probably would realize now. Let's see what happens in the story. That is what the verdict finally given. They all favored elephant, and they've supported him for the verdict. Now, the man, having no alternative and fearing that his refusal might expose him to teeth and claws of members of the commission, did as they suggested. Now man, what alternative he had? They always dominated, saying that he does not have a knowledge, he does not know to read or write or understand the laws of the jungle, and of course a man alone cannot fight against the entire force of these animals, because he's scared, because he might be falling victim for those teeth and claws. Teeth and claws means it talks about their strength, their weaponry, all that, because they could just destroy this man at any moment. So that is what here teeth and claws refer to, their power, weaponry power, right? Because they had these guns and rifles which they could destroy him easily. That's what teeth and claws refer to. Yeah, the man was scared, so that he did as suggested. He did as suggested means he went to that place, a different place, and he thought of, okay, let me build another hut and start living. But he is not very happy man. Okay, we'll stop here and we will continue from the next session. Thank you.